Hey, you ever stop and think about how some people just seem to command power, even if they aren't officially the one, in charge?
Oh, definitely. It's fascinating.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into Tywin Lannister from Game of Thrones. You know, the guy everyone calls a ruthless genius.
Right.
He sent over that really interesting YouTube analysis, Tywin Lannister, El Genio Despiadado de Coty. And the subtitle was something like, "And His End on the Toilet."
That's the one. A bit grim, but memorable.
Totally. And it really got me thinking, just how did he manage to basically run Westeros without ever sitting on the Iron Throne himself?
That's a great question. And yeah, that video does a fantastic job laying out how pervasive his influence really was.
So what are we digging into today specifically?
Basically, we're going to try and dissect his strategies, how he built up all that power, how he kept hold of it, and maybe figure out what led to his downfall.
His end on the toilet.
Right. It's more than just being cruel, though. There were some pretty clever tactics involved, or at least effective ones.
Exactly. And the video argues right off the bat that his money, his sheer wealth, plus his super sharp political brain, that made him the real power, didn't it?
Arguably, yeah. Even with kings like Joffrey or Robert on the throne, Tywin was often pulling the strings.
So where does the analysis say this really kicks off? Where does his opportunism shine?
Well, a key moment the video highlights is right after Robert Baratheon dies. Think about it. It was just total chaos, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Baratheon brothers fighting, the Starks getting involved. A real mess.
Exactly. And right in the middle of all that, Tywin apparently sees his chance. The video uses this quote, tranquilos aquí mando yo.
Which is like, relax, I'm in charge here, yeah.
Pretty much. He just steps into that power vacuum. The video also brings up that saying, crea fama y acuestate a dormir.
Create fame and go to sleep. Meaning his reputation kind of did the work for him.
Precisely. People already knew he was this formidable, ruthless operator. That reputation alone was a huge asset. He didn't always have to shout the loudest.
That makes sense. His presence was enough. Okay, so what about the Battle of the Blackwater? Because Tyrion gets a lot of credit for that one.
He does, and rightly so, with the wildfire strategy. But the video points out Tywin's rather convenient arrival right at the very end.
Oh, yeah, talk about timing. Riding in on a white horse, basically.
Exactly, and the video quotes him saying something like, La batalla terminó, hemos ganado.
The battle is over, we have won. A bit cheeky, considering.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
But it shows his knack for, capitalizing, swooping in, taking the glory, and translating that directly into becoming Hand of the King.
Right. That opportunism again, positioning himself perfectly.
Absolutely. Right at the heart of power, even if he wasn't the one dodging arrows.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads into his family stuff, which the video explores quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. Central to his control, but maybe not in the warmest sense. His kids. Wow.
Yeah, complicated doesn't quite cover it, does it? The analysis really digs into his disappointment, especially with Joffrey and Tyrion.
Definitely. There's that quote about Joffrey, yo soy el rey, something like, any man who has to say, I am the king, is not a true king.
Me aseguraré que lo entiendas después de ganar la guerra por ti.
Right. I'll make sure you understand that after I win the war for you. Ouch! Just pure disdain for Joffrey's weakness.
Total disdain. And this belief that real power doesn't need to announce itself, it's just felt, which says a lot about how Tywin saw himself.
For sure. And then there's Tyrion. Ugh.
The video keeps circling back to that deep, deep resentment, blaming Tyrion for Joanna's death. It's this constant bitterness poisoning everything between them.
It really is, like this wound that never healed. But it wasn't just personal, was it? The video talks about how he used his kids strategically, too.
Oh, absolutely. Pawns in his game.
Yeah.
Like the marriage of Sansa Stark to Tyrion.
What was the analysis's take on that? Just a power grab?
Pretty much. Portrayed as purely calculated, a way to get control of the North. The video uses the line, que mejor que tener el norte en el bolsillo.
What better than to have the North in your pocket? Cold.
Extremely cold. No thought for Sansa, or even Tyrion, really. Just about acquiring territory, influence, strengthening House Lannister.
Everything came back to the family name, the legacy. Speaking of cold, the Red Wedding.
Yeah, the video doesn't pull any punches there. It squarely identifies Tywin as the architect.
The mastermind behind the scenes.
Completely. The analysis argues, look, Robb Stark was winning on the battlefield. Tywin couldn't beat him militarily, so plan B.
Betrayal. With the phrase and the Boltons.
Orchestrated betrayal. The quote the video uses is just chilling. Invítelo a la que debería ser su boda y la convertimos en su entierro.
Invite him to what should be his wedding, and we turn it into his burial. Wow, Ruthless doesn't even begin to cover it.
It's brutally pragmatic, isn't it?
Mm.
And then there's the symbolism the video points out, melting down Ned Stark's sword. Ice.
Oh yeah, the Valyrian steel sword. What did that signify, according to the video?
It was like, deshaciéndose del símbolo usar el sello definitivo de que la casa Stark está acabada.
Getting rid of the Stark symbol, the definitive sign that House Stark is finished. So it wasn't just killing them, it was erasing their power symbolically, too.
Exactly. Dismantling them completely. It shows his thoroughness, I guess. And this pattern continues, right? The video mentions his broader use of political marriage.
Right. Cersei was supposed to marry Loras Tyrell at one point, and Tyrion got Sansa, always using his kids.
Always. They were assets, tools. The video has that blunt quote from him, "A nadie le importa lo que tu padre te dijo."
Nobody cares what your father told you. Just dismisses any promises, any personal feelings. It's all about the strategic advantage for House Lannister.
It's a pretty bleak way to operate, but you can't deny for a long time it worked for him.
Until it didn't. Which brings us to his downfall. The video details this too, right? Starting with Joffrey's memorable death.
The Purple Wedding, yeah. And what's Tywin's instant reaction, according to the analysis?
Blame Tyrion immediately. All that stored up resentment just bursts out.
Exactly. And the video includes that absolutely horrific quote from Tywin to Tyrion about wanting to,
Llevarte al mar y dejar que las olas te arrastraran.
Yeah.
The day you were born, I wanted to take you to the sea and let the waves wash you away. But instead, I let you live. Because you are a Lannister.
It's just pure hatred laid bare, isn't it? Unbelievably cruel.
And even then, Tywin's still trying to manipulate things, right? The video says he offers Tyrion the Night's Watch.
Yeah, trying to salvage the situation.
Yeah.
Get Jaime back to Casterly Rock, secure the family line with legitimate heirs in his eyes. But that plan, as the video points out, backfires. Big time.
Because Tyrion finds Shay in Tywin's bed.
The ultimate betrayal. The final straw.
And the video includes Tyrion's line about it, about Tysha.
Yeah, it gets back to that earlier trauma. Padre trajo a mi esposa y se la dio a los guardias, me llevó a las barracas y me obligó a mirar. Father brought my wife, forced me to watch. That cumulative pain plus finding Shay.
That's the breaking point. Everything just explodes.
Exactly. Years of mistreatment, ending in that final deeply personal insult. And then the crossbow.
While Tywin's on the privy, the video calls it poetic justice. Right?
It does. A rather undignified end for the man who held Westeros in his fist.
It's dark, but you kind of see their point, and his death, as the video highlights, just leaves this huge power vacuum.
Oh, massive consequences. Cersei runs wild, Jaime's completely conflicted, Tyrion flees and ends up advising Daenerys.
The whole Lannister structure starts to crumble.
Pretty much. The video says, La familia más rica del reino se queda sin la cabecilla que realmente sabía manejar el poder.
The richest family is left without the leader who really knew how to wield power. The linchpin was gone.
And the whole analysis kind of concludes that Tywin's story is causa y efecto puro y duro.
Pure and hard cause and effect. Makes sense. His ruthless actions built his power, but they also sowed the seeds of his own destruction.
So wrapping this all up,
Yeah.
what do we take away from this? Tywin's story, framed by this analysis, is just this stark look at ambition, isn't it? And power, and the price of ruthlessness.
Yeah. He climbed to the absolute peak using strategy and fear, but his personal flaws, that resentment he fostered, especially towards Tyrion, it brought it all crashing down.
Destroyed him.
Yeah.
And really damaged his house's future.
So that final thought from the video, calling his death poetic justice, it really sticks with you, doesn't it?
It does.
Do you think it was fitting, considering everything he did? Or maybe does the chaos that came after show that even a guy like Tywin, a ruthless genius, was needed to keep some kind of order?
That's the tricky question, isn't it?
Right.
Was his harsh control better than the chaos that followed?
It really makes you think about power itself and what people are willing to do for it and the cost. Anyway, if you found this dive into Tywin Lannister as compelling as we did, you should definitely check out the original YouTube video.
Yeah, Tywin Lannister. El genio despiadado de God. Y su final en el retrete. By a super analysis. It's worth a watch for their full perspective.
For sure. And it makes you wonder what other figures, maybe from fiction or even history, deserve this kind of deep dive into their power dynamics. Let us know what you think.